Beyond the Gates spoilers tease that Andre Richardson and Ashley Morgan are about to enter a new phase of their unpredictable relationship, one that walks the line between romance and resentment, illusion and authenticity. What begins as a sweet gesture soon spirals into emotional fallout neither of them saw coming, setting the stage for a love triangle that could alter all of their futures. Andre Richardson, a high-profile fashion photographer and creative visionary, has always lived in a world of glamour, image, and calculated charm. He's dated models, artists, and influencers, but when he fell for Ashley Morgan, it was different. Ashley wasn't just another accessory to be styled and shot. She was someone who looked past the camera and demanded substance. Their connection was undeniable, but as time passed, cracks began to form beneath the surface. Ashley had grown increasingly vocal about her feelings of displacement. The women Andre surrounded himself with were polished, fluent in the language of jet lag and exclusive hotel rooftops. Ashley, who worked in public relations for local creatives and nonprofits, felt out of step with Andre's crowd. Her sense of romance wasn't tied to champagne in penthouses or filtered selfies from yachts. It was grounded in shared experience, in feeling seen and valued. In a quiet moment over late-night tea, Ashley confessed her dream, Paris. Not just for the city itself, but for what it symbolized, a place where she could feel cultured, romantic, and important. Andre took it to heart. He wanted to give her that experience. But in true Andre fashion, he saw the solution as something he could construct. What followed was a meticulously staged Parisian evening inside his modern downtown apartment. He changed the lighting, projected a view of the Eiffel Tower onto the wall, curated a playlist of French jazz, and ordered in croissants and duck confit from a high-end French bistro. The final touch, a beret delivered to Ashley at her office in a vintage hatbox, accompanied by an invitation to Paris, chez moi. Ashley arrived dressed simply but hopefully. For a moment, she was swept away. The detail, the thoughtfulness, it moved her. But as the evening went on, the charm began to thin. It wasn't Paris. It wasn't even close. It was a simulation, a well-crafted illusion. And that realization hit her hard. Midway through dinner, she set down her fork. "You think this is what I wanted?" she asked quietly. Andre, confused, tried to explain. "I thought it would be romantic. I wanted to give you something special." "No," she said. "You wanted to control something special. You always do." Andre recoiled. "That's not fair. I did this for you." Ashley stood, trembling. "I don't want a performance, Andre. I want the real thing. I want to go to Paris. Smell it. Walk in it. Get lost in it. Not watch it from your living room while you sit back and smile like a director pleased with his set." The air froze. Neither of them said anything else. Ashley grabbed her coat and left. She wandered for hours, trying to make sense of her own reaction. Was she being ungrateful? Or was she finally seeing that their relationship was built more on vision than truth? She ended up at an all-night cafe, bleary-eyed and emotionally drained. That's where she saw Bill. Bill, whose wife Hayley had recently revealed she was pregnant, sat at the counter nursing a black coffee and staring blankly ahead. Ashley recognized the look. It was the same one she'd seen in her own reflection just an hour before. She slid into the booth beside him. "Rough night." He offered a faint smile. "You could say that." They talked. Not about Paris. Not about failed gestures. Just about disappointment. About wanting more and getting less. About feeling lied to. Eventually, Bill shared the truth. Hayley had told him she was pregnant to try and save their marriage, but he'd found out from her doctor by accident, no less, that it wasn't true. She had made it all up. The betrayal hit him deeper than he could admit. Ashley listened quietly. Her anger softened into empathy. Here was someone who understood what it felt like to be tricked by someone you loved. When Bill said, "If you still want to go to Paris, I'll take you," it wasn't a pickup line. It was something more sincere. A lifeline. Ashley didn't respond right away. She just looked at him and realized he was serious. That he would do it, not for show, not for social media, but because he wanted her to be happy. She agreed. The trip happened fast. Within 2 weeks, they booked tickets, arranged time off, and packed their bags. Andre didn't find out until he saw a photo on Ashley's social feed, her smiling on a balcony, real sunlight in her eyes, a genuine Paris skyline behind her. His heart sank. He called. She didn't answer. He texted. She replied, one sentence, "This is what I needed." What began as a trip of escape turned into something else. In Paris, Ashley and Bill shared quiet mornings, long walks, and unfiltered conversation. They talked about the pain they carried, not to romanticize it, but to let it breathe. One night, after walking along the Seine, Bill kissed her. It wasn't dramatic or urgent. It was patient. And real. Ashley didn't resist. She let herself feel it. Back in Fairmont Crest, Andre spiraled. He told himself it was just a fling, just reactionary. But the silence from Ashley felt final. And when he learned Bill had officially filed for divorce from Hayley, the truth hit hard. This wasn't just a rebound. Ashley had moved on. Ashley didn't flaunt her new relationship, but she didn't hide it either. By the time she and Bill returned to town, people had seen the photos. The glances. The closeness. Whispers turned into truths. Andre saw them together once at a farmer's market, fingers linked, heads close. He turned the other way. He kept photographing. Kept producing. But something in him had cracked. He realized too late that love couldn't be built like a set. It had to be lived. Bill, finally free from a marriage built on manipulation, found peace in building a life with Ashley. They moved in together, not in a rush, but with intent. The Paris trip didn't fix everything, but it sparked something honest. Something lasting. And somewhere deep down, Andre knew he had created a Paris made of projections. But Ashley found the real one. Ashley and Bill's relationship settled into something calm, but not ordinary. After Paris, their lives in Fairmont Crest weren't defined by spectacle or whispers, but by a quiet rhythm that came with shared groceries, folded laundry, late-night movies with popcorn gone stale, and morning coffee sipped while standing barefoot in the kitchen. Ashley had never experienced this kind of simplicity. Bill, having spent years maneuvering around Hayley's ambitions and emotional manipulation, found the silence peaceful rather than awkward. But simplicity didn't mean there weren't complications. Hayley refused to sign the divorce papers. Her pride wouldn't let her accept the collapse of her fabricated pregnancy narrative. She spun stories to friends about reconciliation, about Bill needing space rather than separation. When she learned about Ashley, she didn't confront them publicly. Instead, she contacted Andre. They met at a rooftop lounge downtown. Hayley was in all white, sunglasses pushed high on her head, sipping gin from a tall glass like she was still in control. She opened with charm. "You and I have something in common now. We've both lost someone to Ashley Morgan." Andre didn't rise to the bait. He let her talk. Hayley proposed a joint strategy to break them up. Her idea was petty, manipulative, and theatrical. Expose Ashley's past mistakes, spin a rumor about Bill having second thoughts, release carefully cropped photos to suggest Ashley had never stopped seeing Andre. Andre declined. "You're angry, and I get it," he said. But Ashley made her choice. "And it wasn't me." Hayley didn't hide her disappointment. "You're softer than I thought," she muttered, slipping on her sunglasses and walking away. That night, Andre sat in his darkroom, flipping through black and white portraits of Ashley he'd taken months before. Her expressions had been natural, her eyes unguarded. He knew now that part of her had always been looking for something he couldn't stage. He boxed the photos and shelved them. Ashley, unaware of Hayley's schemes, focused on rebuilding. She began taking on more clients, coaching young creatives in personal branding and portfolio development. Bill supported her at every turn, encouraging without hovering. One afternoon, he even helped her pitch a city-sponsored art walk event, which got approved for summer. Ashley's name was listed beside local council members and established curators. For the first time, she didn't feel like someone's accessory. She felt like a presence. But healing isn't linear. One morning, while packing books for a donation drive, Ashley found an old Polaroid of her and Andre, smiling in bed, her hand on his chest, his camera draped around his neck. The photo stunned her. It was joyful. It was honest. It reminded her that she had once believed in that version of them. She tucked the photo into her journal without telling Bill. Later that week, Andre ran into her at the local bookstore. He was polite. Warm, even. They talked for 15 minutes about nothing book covers, the new bakery menu, the weather turning. But something lingered. Unspoken things. Shared air. Ashley didn't tell Bill about the meeting. A few days later, Andre received a package at his studio. Inside was a framed photo, a snapshot Ashley had taken in Paris of a street violinist playing under a red awning. No note. Just the image. It wasn't a door opened, but it wasn't fully closed either. Bill noticed the distance. Ashley wasn't withdrawing, but she was more reflective. He finally asked, gently, "Is there something you want to say?" Ashley hesitated. Then she said it. "I saw Andre. It wasn't planned. We just talked." Bill listened. He nodded. "Do you still love him?" She didn't answer. And that silence said enough. The days that followed were heavy. Bill didn't accuse or sulk. He simply gave her space. Ashley, in turn, tried to sort through her feelings. Her love for Bill was real. Steady. But love for Andre hadn't vanished. It had just been buried under hurt and misunderstanding. She met with Naomi Hawthorne for lunch and laid it all out. Naomi, a friend and community leader known for her sharp instincts, told her plainly, "Just because you found something good doesn't mean you don't mourn what was beautiful. But don't confuse longing with compatibility." Ashley thanked her. And kept thinking. Meanwhile, Hayley, still spiraling, finally got served the official divorce order from Bill's attorney. It was clean. Final. She refused to show up for the proceedings. She packed up her belongings and left town without warning, leaving only a single voicemail for Bill. "You'll miss me when your new fantasy gets boring." Bill deleted it. Ashley made her choice not long after. She invited Andre to a quiet gallery opening on a Thursday night. He came, stood in the back, watched her move confidently through the crowd. She looked like she belonged. At the end of the night, she walked over to him. "Thank you for coming. You're thriving, Ash." "I mean it. But I'm not coming back." Andre looked down, nodded. "I needed to see it," he said. "To believe it." She reached for his hand, squeezed it once, then let go. That weekend, she and Bill drove out of town for a short cabin retreat. They hiked. They didn't talk about Andre. They didn't need to. As snow began to fall outside the window, Ashley leaned against Bill and whispered, "I choose you. I always will." He kissed her forehead. "Then let's stop looking back." And together, they looked ahead. Spring arrived in Fairmont Crest with bursts of cherry blossoms and unexpected clarity. For Ashley, life had finally leveled into something she could trust, peaceful, imperfect, and hers. Her mornings were filled with creative meetings, coffee with local artists, and long walks with Bill through winding neighborhoods waking from winter. The whirlwind was over. But the consequences still lingered. She received an invitation in the mail one day, feature request from a lifestyle magazine. The article was focused on women who reinvented their careers and relationships. Ashley had been nominated anonymously. When the editor asked if she'd be willing to speak openly about her past, including her relationship with Andre, she paused. That evening, she told Bill about it over dinner. He stirred his pasta quietly. "You should do it," he said. Ashley looked up. "You think so? Even if it brings all that back?" He reached for her hand. "It's part of your story. But it's not your ending. You found your truth. Maybe someone else needs to hear how you did it." She agreed. The article dropped in early May. It was candid but graceful. She talked about loving someone who couldn't see beyond their own creation, and about learning that real connection doesn't come with perfect lighting or curated charm. She spoke about Paris the real one and how it taught her to stop pretending to be part of someone else's fantasy. Andre read it. He didn't call. Didn't send flowers. But he quietly reposted the article with one caption, "Proud of her." He meant it. Andre had changed too. After everything with Ashley, he took a step back from fashion photography and focused on a series of community-based portrait projects. He started capturing people without makeup, without styling, without performance. Just truth. His gallery exhibit, Unfiltered, opened to critical acclaim. For once, the praise didn't feel hollow. He dated again, briefly. But he wasn't rushing. He was rebuilding. From something deeper. As for Bill and Ashley, they settled into their own kind of permanence. They didn't rush to get married or announce anything to the world. They just lived. Together. Honestly. One Sunday morning, Ashley stood in front of a mirror trying on a navy dress for a speaking event at the local university. Bill watched from the doorway. "You look like the woman who changed everything," he said. Ashley turned, smiling. "I didn't change everything. Just the parts one finally stopped running from." He nodded. "That's everything." Outside, the wind carried petals across their porch. No more illusions. No more staged romance. Just real life. And finally, they were both living it.